out it's an RFL conspiracy against them. I wonder what exactly the RFL are conspiring to do to Hunslet.
Well, what's their agenda?
Yeah, precisely.
589 was the decent sized crowd there as well. Pretty sure Toronto will get a few more than that when they're next at home, far away as they may be.
Yeah. Exactly. There you go.
No, Bry has a different set of thinking to
your
many
Commodore Garden Hunslet fan
of the fans of these smaller clubs who do think that everything's against them.
There you go. Okay, so what does that mean in terms of the standings then, Mark?
That means Whitehaven's strong run now sees them in second on their own behind Toronto, a point ahead of Barrow, with York and Doncaster also in touching distance of the pair. Workington head up a group of 4 on 10 points, and then it's Scholars in 10th who lead the South. South Wales and Hemel stay winless.
There you go. So, into the NRL round 14 of regular season play. My Sharks lost out 13 points to 18 at home against the Melbourne Storm. Manly Sea Eagles were 18 points to 14 winners over the Newcastle Knights. Brisbane Broncos got a 24 points to 18 win over the South Sydney Rabbitohs, Mark.
Yeah, Tom Burgess 134 metres, Sam Burgess a try and 151 metres. George also started this game.
Well, yeah, back from disgrace.
Not putting up numbers.
No. Gold Coast Titans 12, New Zealand Warriors 34. Strong away result for the Warriors.
Yeah, Joe Greenwood played for the Titans, but obviously couldn't make a difference.
There you go. Penrith Panthers were 24 points to 20 winners over the Canberra Raiders.
Whitehead with a try assist and 42 tackles. Hodgson played as well. Wasn't quite enough. Last minute Panthers win in an exciting one.
There you go. It was Parramatta Eels 6, North Queensland Cowboys 32. West Tigers were defeated at home 8 points to 40 by the Sydney Roosters, and the Bulldogs of Canterbury Bankstown were 16 points to 2 winners over the St George Illawarra Dragons.
Yeah, and James Graham 153 metres had the bigger influence on this game than Gareth Widdop, who did play, scored the Dragons 2 points, but that was as good as it got.
There you go. Right. That is the world of rugby league well and truly covered. Let's take a look now into the future as we bring you our predictions for the Challenge Cup quarterfinals and also one game from round 16 of Super League. Okay then, so to our predictions, we nominally take a break from league play because there is one fixture to make up, but it's the Challenge Cup quarter-finals. Always an exciting weekend, Mark, and we start on Thursday night. Salford take on Wakefield down at the AJ Bell. What do you reckon?
Well, this is going to be an interesting game, and it's all going to depend, I think, on whether people like is Walker Cup tied? Did he play for Saints in an earlier round? Because if he is, that's a problem.
Yeah.
He wasn't in the squad last week anyway, so maybe he's injured, I don't know. And then Fafita's fitness, whether Hubie was left out because of resting him or because there was an injury niggle or anything last week, it'll all depend on that for me. I think because I do think Salford are going to bring the game in a bit. At least for the first half of the game. I think it's going to be a grittier affair from them than we've seen in the last few weeks to try and scale back the errors they've been making.
Yeah.
And if Wakefield's pack is under strength in any way, I think that might be the deciding factor, and then that will give Salford the space to open up and score a couple of tries in the second half in the ways they've been scoring tries, either Murnau Masilla bashing through people or Wellham and Sow creating space off the back of good half-back play for their wingers. So I'm leaning towards a Salford win on that basis. I'm thinking 28-16, but this is a game that I'm really looking forward to seeing.
Yeah,
hopefully both teams are at the top of their game.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one as well. And for a lot of what you just said, I think Salford are going to go on and win this one. There's just too many questions about Wakefield's injuries at the minute for me to be confident in picking them on a Monday night. Having not seen the 19, so I'm going to go with Salford, 22 points to 18. I think it'll be slightly closer than you do. But yeah, still a Red Devils win for me. On Friday night, Leeds Rhinos take on Featherstone. Is there a way for Fev to come away from Headingley with a famous victory, or is this going to go the way we anticipate and be a drubbing for the Flat Cappers?
Well, Fev have said that they're not even going to put out a full side because they have to play on Wednesday in the league, and that's more important to them.
Oh, right.
So,
fucking, there's the magic of fucking cup for you then.
Yeah.
Well, I want to upgrade my.
Thanks, John Sharp, for ruining that.
I want to upgrade my score prediction. Yeah, exactly.
I hope no one goes and you don't get any money from it.
Why would Fev fans turn out? What a shit way to treat your fans saying that. What absolute right, bollocks. Yeah, Leeds, I mean, we all figure it. Leeds are going to absolutely smash them. I had said 42 points to 12. I hope it's fucking 62 points to 12 now. Come on, you Rhinos.
I think it's going to be around what you originally picked. I'm going to go 38-8. I think Fev might score a penalty early doors and think they can contain and then get blown away and then maybe score a try at some point, but I don't expect much.
Another thing that goes against Fed is they're not going to benefit from a big dual reg influx, are they, either in this one?
Yeah, but they've got some players on loan who've already played in the cup and stuff, so for them. So there's an element of that will come into play. But yeah, Leeds by loads.
Yeah, okay. Warrington take on Wigan at the HJ on Saturday afternoon. Two patched up sides, two sides that are in piss poor form. How do Wigan find a win in this one, Mark?
Well, Wigan will have Leigh and Farrell back. They should have Sam Powell back in the reckoning. Not that Josh Ganson deserves to get dropped, but
that's the way
it's a big game. And very possibly people like Bateman, Gelling, O'Loughlin and Sam Tompkins back in the reckoning. This could be a different Wigan side. It depends on how many of them make the final cut for that, but to expect some of those guys to get up and running straight away, particularly Sam Tompkins and Anthony Gelling, more so I'd say, because Bateman just does what Bateman does, and you can control the amount of minutes he might have to play, and that I won't worry about. O'Loughlin's played enough. It's just been this hamstring issue the last few weeks. If O'Loughlin plays, Wigan win, and if I assume Warrington will have some of these players back who didn't play last week. I expect some of the old stagers were kept out as much as anything, but no Chris Hill for them. It very much depends on the dummy half play. If Wigan give up the ruck as badly as they gave up the ruck last week, then Darryl Clark could have an absolute field day. I don't expect our goal line defence to be so lax as it was last week. And one thing we've done under Wayne traditionally is defend quite well. If our attacking structures have come under question, our defensive ones never really have. And for that to happen, as it has the last couple of weeks, I'm sure he'll be trying to go back to the basics there with the boys. I think Wigan are going to win, and I'm going to go 30 points to 20. I
don't see it being quite so high scoring, but I do think Wigan are going to go and get a win. I think 18 points to 16.
Like 5 tries to 2.
Yeah, possibly. Look,
4 tries to 2.
For all the wrong reasons, 2 evenly matched sides here, but what I'll say about Wigan is that whilst there have been holes defensively and there have been lapses, there has been a general air of positivity from the youngsters that have come in, whereas with Warrington, I don't feel that positive vibe, which is why I've gone with a Wigan away win, particularly if you can start to bring in some of these bigger names that have been missing. Every name that you just rattled off there, if 3 of them get in the team, they are enormous lifts to that side. Someone like Anthony Gelling, they've been crying out for getting back into that side, so you can get Joe Burgess back out on the wing, things like that. And again, get Lockers in that side, and all of a sudden your real leader's out on the pitch, and he can marshal his troops a bit more.
Lockers and Tompkins, and all of a sudden you've got talkers, you've got organisers, you've got players who read the game of rugby league exceptionally well. And
that makes a massive, massive difference, which is why I've picked.
It could do, and I hope for the best, because I'll be there.
Yeah.
Supporting my boys.
There you go. Okay, well, final game of the round sees Hull FC taking on Castleford on Sunday afternoon. I'm going to go for a Castleford win, Mark. I know Hull will be pleased with their away result against Salford, but this Castleford team is just a different gravy at the minute, and as improved as Hull FC are on that 1 week's performance, Cass just do it week in, week out. I think it'll be competitive, I think it'll be close because it's a cup game, so I think teams will want to play. They'll be a bit more tighter, the chains won't be off them early doors, but I do think Castleford have got enough. But this is the game of the weekend I'm looking forward to most. I'm going to go with 26-18 in favour of the Tigers. What say ye?
I so don't know.
It's a tough one to pick.
I absolutely don't know. Junior Moore's getting injured could be a big factor because he's been so powerful for this cast side. And then when you look around and you see, Cook's legs in a brace, Lauren Patrick ain't fit. I don't think we haven't seen him all year. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know what the state of Gadwin Springer is at. I don't know if he's good to go, but he's missed out a couple of times recently.
Yeah.
So I'm unsure about their forward pack, and that leaves a big question mark. And if Hull, before Hull put in a complete performance in terms of really good goal line defence, threatening throughout, and really organised defensively. Before that, I thought Hull fans have maybe been getting away with themselves because I've never really seen Hull play that well this year for an 80 minutes. Last week I did, so in every facet of the game they showed me that they can do it, and that's making me lean with the injury situation in the Castleford pack towards Hull FC actually. And I'm going to switch up where I was going to be. At first I was thinking, well, Castleford are so good, they score so many points, etc., etc. I don't think it's going to go all their way this time. And, it didn't go all the way a few times recently. I think the Huddersfield game where they had men out when there was the England game, and then the Saints game in the league where they toughed it with, again, men out. But
they won both those games.
They did win both those games, but does that not mean they're due for losing a close one?
I think it means they can tough it out when times are hard.
Yes.
And as much as you say, look, Lauren Patrick and Gadwin Springer are in the side, Grant Millington's still in the side, Andy Lynch is evergreen. It's not like they're decimated in the forward pack. You can stick Senna Lefeo in for a stint up front. I think they've still got enough.
Probably, but do you know what?
You've got to start wibbling though if you want to make up these nine games.
That's not what it's about. It's more about that the whole performance convinced me that they can work hard enough in defence to beat Cass. So I'm going to go with Hull 26-24.
Close.
Yeah.
Fair play. Okay. Final game of the weekend is a delayed round 16 fixture, which sees the Huddersfield Giants taking on St Helens on Friday night down at the John Smiths. Huddersfield, for me, are the improving form team in the league. And I think that given the power they have down the middle and what they're doing out wide in terms of distributing the ball to players like Jordan Turner and to Leroy Cudjoe, and what they've got in terms of strike weapons in Jake Mamo, means that they will have enough for a still inconsistent St Helens side. So I'm going for a 24 points to 16 victory in favour of the Giants.
I'm going to go the other way. And the reason why I'm going to go the other way is Huddersfield haven't beat much, have they? In the last few weeks, they've battered a very, very down on form and character Catalan side, and Warrington
class doing it though. Come on,
Warrington side who also
they're beating the teams in and around them, which is exactly what St Helens are though.
Well, St Helens are 5 points ahead of them or something, 4 or 5 points ahead of them in the table.
After Friday night.
I think Saints are both of them will have experienced, talented sides out there. Yeah. I think it's a shame that this one's not going to be able to be televised. If I'm honest,
there's 5 great games in prospect.
Because I think there's a good chance because we've got 2 sides that are showing a little bit more form, and being able to pick the best teams. And I feel like there's something going on at Saints that's a little bit more in place than what's going on at Huddersfield, and they haven't come up against a defence like what Saints are going to put up, I don't think here. So 28-24 in favour of Saints, but I wouldn't be surprised either way, but I do think so.
There you go. Okay, so don't forget then, you need to make your Super Brew predictions and changes to your Dream Team lineups, and you can follow all this weekend's action.
Get Huddersfield and Saints players in.
Absolutely. All this weekend's action as it happens by following our friends at SL Clubs on the Twitter. Championship game of the week, Mark. What have you got for us?
Toulouse v London jumps off the page straight off, doesn't it? Second and third.
Massive.
Obviously, how far are those two ahead of? Are they 5 points ahead of, or 4 points ahead of Halifax? Let me just double check, but there'll be 6 games to go, won't there, after? Is that right? Is that where we're at? What round are we on?
We're round 18 for the championship this weekend.
So there'll be 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. 5 games left to go after this one. Let me get the table up.
No problem.
And they are 4